It's very difficult to have different plans because it is not possible to anticipate the scenarios. What is needed is a very swift response. So if a vendor goes into trouble because of whatever reason, being in a containment zone or the people not being able to work over there, then immediately we have to respond by shifting production to another vendor, you know. So a lot of agility and speed of response is needed. It's difficult to make a plan A, B, and C for this situation.
Innumerous number of plans have to be made.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, speaking about capacity, what's happening with demand? So suddenly there is a demand in market where we are seeing that people want to buy. Is it the shift to personal mobility? Is it good monsoons? Is it pent up demand which is a bit extended? What is your reading of the market?
Well, on the basis of the resumption of demand in beginning second half June onwards, we have seen a upsurge in demand which is carried through with a little bit of up and down right into August. I would say it is all the factors which you have mentioned. There is definitely pent-up demand because for almost 2 months there was no sale and business has to carry on. Secondly, no doubt that there are many parts of the country where liquidity has improved. These are the agricultural areas. I won't say this is deep rural, but these are the small agricultural towns, the mandi towns, the wholesale market towns, which have seen a very good business environment. And yes, confidence level is up. Since I would say August, end of July, August, we have been noticing in the urban centers demand picking up because of people perceiving two-wheelers as a safer option. So when you put it all together, it certainly is the one which is all of these are combining to impact demand.
Is it a short-term splurge in demand? Because many say that till the time there will not be any steps done to boost the economy, after say Diwali, after the festive season maybe, we'll still be back to normal where we were.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a very fair point. We have to, some of these factors like the pent-up demand or this feeling that two-wheelers is a safer alternative, they might sort of dissipate over a period of time. It is to be only expected. And I must say that even today, the demand has come back to, let's say 90%, 85% to 95% of last year. Yeah. But last year was not a stellar year. I mean, the industry was in double-digit decline, and there are certain, very fundamental issues the industry was facing, primarily on the cost side, driven by regulatory compliances of BS6 or insurance, BS6 now, but last year insurance, ABS, etc. So those have not disappeared. And once these factors, the positive factors, dissipate over a period of time, I certainly feel that we will again be faced with that stark reality once again. Yeah.
So one thing which I wanted to ask, sir, there has been a lot of talk about the industry speaking to the government. We have made a lot of times demands for a GST rate cut. At the point where it is a fair ask, and once the GST rate cut happens, it might be really benefiting sales. Announcements by ministers, whether it be SIAM, whether it be other places, do you think that derails or makes people wait for the GST cut to come where it might not come? Because this is the same scenario which happened last year.
Yes.
Do you think this derails the whole process more than really getting the sales up?
Yeah, I think, it is an important discussion and it is a very difficult decision. One can understand with a government strapped for resources, whether this will trigger the demand and improve tax collection, or whether it will not trigger and just be a drain on the resources. This is an important one, but I think it has to be done in a limited, closed-door manner. There is no point, jumping the gun and announcing these things when they have not been finalized, because there are many stakeholders in the decision, whether it's state, center, etc. And certainly, the whole recovery process does get interrupted, I'm not saying it will get derailed, but it will certainly get interrupted. There are people who will start thinking, and this is wholly unnecessary, according to me.
Speaking about reducing the dependency from China, how can that happen? And how and what does the government really need to do to make that possible?
Well, first of all, unless things get completely unstuck between the two countries, then it's another matter. But if there are things which cannot be sort of resolved politically, then we need to sort of look at things differently. But having said that, I, for example, don't see any reason for decoupling from China in a ferocious way. With that as the primary objective. China brings a certain set of advantages to the supply chain. Why not let our customers get benefit of that advantage? When we, so it is, I would argue, for a case of interdependency rather than to look at sourcing from China as being our dependency on them. If we are dependent on them, they're also dependent on us. But this, of course, I'm saying with the context that the political situation between the two countries is managed. I don't think we need to take this into the area of business. To reducing dependency on China by switching off China is not the way. We're going to hurt ourselves. That has to be done by improving ease of business, by becoming more competitive. And we have seen that. Our imports from China are, less than 3%, less than 4%. And it is not. It is not because we've got something pathologically against China. We have made business and commercial decisions which suggest that sourcing from India or some other countries is better when you put the whole thing holistically. So it can be done. But it has to be done in a structured way. It cannot be the first step is to switch off the imports. The first step is to put things right at our end. That is what will reduce our dependency on imports, which can be very easily replicated in India, let's say.
So, wanted to ask you, sir, this is the motorcycle business and the scooter business. In three-wheeler, there's still a problem because, the market has not really gone up.
Yeah.
How do you manage to see that?
Yeah, the three-wheeler business is in a far more difficult situation because there are not enough people on the roads, there are no children going to the schools, the offices are not yet at full strength, people are not visiting restaurants, etc. So the income levels of the three-wheeler drivers are considerably impaired. I would say they are at about a 50% level, and the three-wheeler business runs on commercial finance, and when your income is impaired, ability to pay the EMIs gets compromised, and that sort of puts a brake on the return to normalcy of the industry. So I would say the three-wheeler business is at about sort of moving up, but inching up slowly. It was in June at about 20%, and July 30%, and August, September I'm seeing it at about 40% levels.
Does it need drastic steps to be taken at the management level, or?
No, not really. It's very difficult to assuage this from any set of management actions because it is dependent on really, the traffic patterns and the need of movement of people. We can make it a bit easier for our dealers and, things like that. But I don't think there is any silver bullet in the management's armory which can suddenly, solve this problem. It'll be a step by step.
Just want to understand, sir, when we speak about the shift to personal mobility, is there also a scene where we are seeing 100cc or the entry-level bikes being sold more? Is there any sign like that?
So that is a very good thing which has happened, I think. Despite this major shock in the system, the fundamental structure of the industry has not really shifted. So the segments are more or less where they are. But certainly in a same segment, we are seeing some kind of a movement towards the lower priced models. So basically people are not got shocked enough to say that, okay, I was a 150cc motorcycle buyer, now because of this I'm going to buy a 100cc. No, he still wants to buy a 150cc bike, but is now far more careful in assessing the value of the 150cc portfolio, and will go for the one which gives him the best value.
Last question before I let you go. Harley Davidson is looking for partners in India. Many say Bajaj is also one of them which they are talking to. Have they approached us? But till now?
No comments.